Going on, everybody? And it's Weather with Jonathan here. And things are starting to get very active across the entire U.S. So let's go ahead and start talking about it. So starting off with our major pattern swing, aka our cold blast, which is actually going to be happening. This is going to bring major impacts for much of the U.S. You can see we have this Arctic air blast coming down from Canada right now. Now, listen, that's not really going to bring much significant impacts. It's only going to bring some pretty just cold temperatures to portions of Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, that area. Temperatures in the lows could get down to maybe even freezing and maybe even the lower 20s in portions of Wisconsin and Minnesota. This is going to bring some very cold temperatures, but not compared to what we're about to see. You can see we have a massive warm up today or tomorrow, and you can see this is a massive warm up. This is going to be happening across pretty much a lot of the central and eastern US. But guess what? That cold front just sweeps through across the nation, and it's gonna bring colder temperatures to a lot of the country. And that's where we could have lows in the night down to freezing in Kansas, and maybe even the 20s from Nebraska all the way up through North Dakota and Minnesota, and maybe even Michigan and Wisconsin. Now, meanwhile, the temperatures are very warm on the East Coast, reaching possibly 85 degrees. You heard me right. Very, very warm. Fire conditions are definitely possible in the northeastern US. But watch. Now listen. We are going to get multiple cold blasts, and you can see right here in this model run overnight, that is some pretty cold temperatures for the Northeast. In the mountains, they could reach in the 20s, but for most of the northeastern US and the Midwest, it's going to get very cold. This is Monday, April 24th, and this is overnight. This is around midnight. Temperatures could be reaching anywhere from about 32 degrees in the lows all the way down to 20 degrees. So that is pretty cold. Now, finally, that cold blast will end. You guys get a warm up. But guess what? This is going to be our trend. And listen, it'll finally start stopping once we get into May. But listen, it's going to actually happen. I'll tell you a couple more times. But listen, it's going to start happening a lot more as we head out into May. So we know that is probably going to happen. So you guys are definitely in for a big warm up. And just a look at our temperatures for Wichita Falls, Texas, because it's going to be getting very, very warm this week. It could be reaching today upwards of about 80 degrees, maybe even 85 near Wichita Falls. And look, tomorrow we even have widespread 80 to 90 degree temperatures across a wide area of the Central Plains, including Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. Temperatures could be reaching 75 degrees all the way up to 90 to 93 degrees in some places. Now watch this. The heat only gets worse for Wichita Falls. You guys could be seeing temperatures in this entire circle right here that I'm showing you. Temperatures could be reaching from 80 to 100 degrees in some of the hottest places. So it's going to be very, very hot. And listen, now don't get me wrong. There is going to be a lot of warmth across the U.S., but most of it is centered across Texas and Oklahoma, where temperatures could be reaching upwards of 90 degrees, and it's not out of the question. I do think this is going to happen, is we can get very, very warm across that entire area. So now let's move on to our severe weather, because you can see this is Tuesday, and you probably notice something where the low pressure center is sitting. It's probably going to be sitting somewhere right here. Now it's going to wrap all that moisture around to about this area, and guess what? That's where we're going to have precipitation form, and that could lead to some severe thunderstorms across this entire region for Tuesday. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a slight threat of this in the future. But for right now, it is a marginal threat. Now, guess what? As we head on into Wednesday, those dew points and moisture increase across a lot of this portion of the U.S. That's where we're going to have severe thunderstorms fire off capable of producing damaging winds very large hail, and maybe even a tornado is possible, but it's not very likely, but it still cannot be ruled out completely. It is still a possibility, so we still need to go over that and still need to have a concern for that. Now, as that cold front sweeps through the region into Arkansas, this is Thursday right here, and you can see those dew points are reaching about 60s, mid 60s, maybe even upper 60s for portions of the entire state of Arkansas, southeastern Oklahoma, northeastern Texas, and southeastern Missouri, or the Boot Heel of Missouri. And this is where we're going to have some severe storms capable of all hazards, but tornado threat is still a little low, but it still is definitely a threat for severe weather. And then that cold front just keeps sweeping through the region. That's where we have another severe threat come into play here for Friday. That's going to be across much of the Mississippi Delta region and the Mississippi River Valley. This is going to be for northern Louisiana, southeastern Arkansas, and western Mississippi or northwestern Mississippi. So this is going to be a pretty substantial severe threat and a pretty widespread severe weather threat. So we do need to take that into consideration. And now let's take a look at where some of these storms could form using our European model lightning flash density. This is where lightning strikes could happen, and this is also kind of something used to see where storms could fire off too, which is very helpful in terms of this. So you can see, let's go to Tuesday, and you can see we're going to have some storms start firing off right in the central Great Plains area, and this is where we're going to have severe weather across that entire region. And guess what? As we head out into the evening hours and the overnight hours, severe weather threat will start to shift east, and that's where we have some pretty big thunderstorms across this entire region from about southwestern Wisconsin all the way to eastern Kansas. And this is more of our good chasing day for severe weather in the Great Plains. So if any of you guys are storm chasers, you should definitely go get out there if you live somewhere near the plains. So you should definitely go out. This is a pretty good storm chasing opportunity day. And guess what? Tornadoes are definitely possible, like I mentioned. So we really got to pay attention to that. Now, this is Wednesday night. You can see the storms finally move through eastern Kansas. And then in the morning hours and the afternoon hours, we're going to see storms, and the evening hours, we're going to see storms just go and move across eastern Texas, southeastern Oklahoma, the entire state of Arkansas, and eastern and southern Missouri. Maybe even southern Illinois, I would expect some severe thunderstorms for you. And then it also moves into southern Arkansas, northern Louisiana, northeastern Texas, and northwestern Mississippi. Now it finally should die down. We still have a severe weather threat for the south, and then that finally moves out of the way. Our system finally moves out of the way around Sunday, April 23rd. So now let's take a look at our SPC outlooks. This is for Wednesday, April 19th, and you can see we have a slight mist currently in place from central Iowa all the way back through central Kansas. This is where we could have some very large hail, damaging winds, and maybe a tornado or two possible. Now, I think we could potentially see room for an upgrade. Wouldn't say we do, but I think it is possible. But we still need to worry about that, because if we take a look at our day 3 combined outlook, we have a SIG severe, and this is very likely for hail, because damaging hail and very large hail is definitely a threat with a lot of these storms. And guess what? That severe weather threat, like I said, just pushes southeastward into northeastern Texas, southeastern Oklahoma, southern and southeastern Missouri, the entire state of Arkansas, and northern Louisiana. So it's going to be mainly a damaging wind and hail threat, but an isolated tornado can also not be ruled out. So all hazards are capable with these storms. Same for See, same for Friday for eastern Texas, northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and central and northern Mississippi. So you guys are included in this. And I'm just going to tell you guys, after what happened in Rolling Fork, I really feel bad for them because Rolling Fork is smack dab in the middle of this severe risk. So I hope everybody is safe there without their homes, but they are getting rebuilded. They're getting rebuilt, sorry, but they're doing a lot of things to help out there. So I'm very glad about that. But you know what I'm not glad about, like I just said? Rolling Fork is smack dab in the middle of this severe weather, so you really got to pay attention to that. So thank you guys for coming and watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you for coming and watching this video just again, and thank you for all the support. You guys really liked my last video, so I'm changing up my weather videos just a little bit by doing what I did last video. So I will continue to keep it this way since you guys liked it, and I am going to try and come out with something on my second channel, and I will try to make a hypothetical hurricane season for you guys because you guys love my hurricane season. At least you did for my part 1. So I'll see you in my next video.